Hey there, welcome to another marriage replenishment message from The Color of Marriage.
Ever had a tough conversation with your spouse that ended in a shouting match? You're not alone. We've all been there, trying to share something unpleasant or corrective, but instead of a productive conversation, it spirals into a full-blown argument. We often forget that it's not just about what we say, but how we say it. If you storm in, armed with accusations and negativity, it's almost certain that a shouting match will follow. After all, nobody likes to be on the receiving end of such an approach. So, how do we navigate these tricky waters? How can we share our concerns without sparking an argument? It's all about the approach. If we can master a more considerate, empathetic way of sharing, we can prevent these shouting matches from happening. So how can you prevent these shouting matches? Here are 3 steps to consider before having that tough conversation with your spouse. The first step is to pray. Seek God's guidance on how best to share the information. Prayer isn't just about asking for what we want, but it's about aligning ourselves with God's will and wisdom. Asking for guidance during prayer isn't just about seeking answers. It's about opening ourselves to God's wisdom and allowing it to guide our actions. Consider asking these questions during your prayer. Does the information need to be shared? If so, when should I share it? How should I share it? What amount of the information should I share? The purpose of these questions is to ensure that our actions are driven not by our own emotions or impulses, but by God's wisdom that sees beyond what we can see. The goal here is to be obedient to the guidance you receive during prayer and to share the information as guided. The second step is to follow God's instructions as received during prayer. Now this can be a challenge, especially when emotions run high. But remember, obedience is a key aspect of faith. When you've sought God's guidance, the next crucial step is to adhere to it. This means not adding anything extra to the conversation, no matter how tempting it may be to do so. Think of it like following a recipe. If you add extra ingredients not listed, you may end up with a dish that doesn't taste quite right. The same principle applies to your conversation. Stick to the recipe that God has given you. Obedience in this context means trusting that the wisdom that you've received from God is enough. It's about faith in the process, even when the outcome isn't immediately clear. Following these instructions not only prevents a shouting match, but also allows you to experience God working in your marriage. The third and final step is patience. Patience is not just about waiting, it's about maintaining a positive attitude while waiting. Yes, it's easier said than done, but it's a crucial part of fruitful communication. When you've shared something significant with your spouse, give them time to process it. It's not about hurrying them to accept or understand it. It's about providing them with the breathing space they need to digest the information, to reflect on it, and to respond accordingly. Equally important is to allow for God's intervention. You've sought guidance, you've obeyed, and now wait for God to work on your spouse's heart. It may not be immediate, but remember, God's timing is always perfect. It's about keeping hope and trusting in God's plan. So keep calm, hold on, and stay patient. Remember, patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to tough conversations with your spouse. So to recap, the 3 steps to consider before having a tough conversation with your spouse are: first, pray. Seek God's guidance on when, how, and what to share. Second, follow God's instructions. Be obedient to divine counsel and refrain from adding any extras. Last but not least, be patient. Give your spouse time to process the information and also give God time to work on their heart. These steps are crucial in transforming potentially explosive conversations into opportunities for growth and understanding. They can diffuse tension, promote empathy, and foster a spirit of cooperation. Who wouldn't want that? They also serve as a reminder that the way we communicate matters. The tone, the timing, the words we choose, they all contribute to the outcome of our conversations, and ultimately, the health of our relationships. Remember, the way you approach and share information with your spouse makes all the difference. Here's to having more peaceful conversations in your relationship. Now that you know the 3 steps to a peaceful spousal conversation, it's time to put them into practice. In your next tough conversation with your spouse, remember to pray, follow God's instructions, and be patient. We're all works in progress, and every step we take towards better communication is a step towards a healthier relationship. But don't just keep these experiences to yourself. We want to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments below. How did these steps help you? What challenges did you face and how did you overcome them? Your insights could be the encouragement someone else needs to take that first step. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're constantly sharing tips and advice to help you navigate life's challenges. Remember, practice makes perfect. So, start practicing these steps today and see the difference it makes in your conversations. See you in the next video.